All right, here we are in day 3. Now, this topic right here, this is new. This is new to Algebra 1. It used to be Algebra 2 standard, and now since they've redone the course study, they've moved it back down. Okay, it's really not that bad if you follow the rules. Okay, so remember that here's what you need to know. There are 2 equations to solve. Yeah, it kind of doubles up what you're doing, but we're not going to try to make them very hard. Okay, so all right. So what we're doing here, we have to remember right here, example A. Absolute value of E equals 6. Now remember, makes everything positive. Does it make a positive a negative? It makes everything positive, okay? It's like those people that are always just so happy, nothing gets them down, and they kind of bother you sometimes. That's what absolute value is, okay? It makes everything positive. Now, there are 2 numbers that we can plug in here to give us answer 6. It's going to be positive 6 and negative 6. Now, normally you'll see answers written like this, okay, and those are in braces. And I'll go over how to draw those, and it's not a big whoop if you can't draw them. Might be even better that we're virtual right now, so you don't have to draw them. You can actually type them in. All right, so right here. All right, one thing I do want you to realize on this part stays the same right here. All right, that's what stays the same. What changes is that whatever that is, all this, it could equal a positive 3 or a negative 3. All right, so basically you're going to have one of these where it's exactly the same as it's written, minus the absolute value bars, one of these with the absolute value bars and an opposite sign right here. That's really it. Now, clean this up a little bit. I kind of like these because you can solve them at the same time. All right, we can actually sit here and do this. You can, you don't have to, but I kind of like doing this way because it saves time. All right, so we're going to have R equals, well, this is 9 and R equals 3. You can write it like this. You can write it like 9, 3. I don't really care if they're in least to greatest number order. Now, it's like a S and a 2, and a 2 and a S. Okay, that's how I write my braces, and that's a 9, not an A. All right, so that's kind of how this will work. For each problem, there's actually 2 of them. Now, your homework today is going to actually be in Schoology. I couldn't find stuff on like I wanted it to look, so I just kind of made my own, and it's all right. So it's not that bad. All right, so let's get going here. Now, we know, I really wish that it would quit making that. I don't know why it's doing that. I hate this. Okay, so right here, we know we're going to have, when it's 3x equals 9, and a 3x equals negative 9. All right, so that's kind of, now it went away. Thank goodness, that's driving me crazy. All right, so here's our 2 equations. This 3x is exactly like it was. We have a positive 9, and then it's a negative 9. Because we could either put positive 9 or negative 9 in there and get absolute value. All right, so all we're going to do is just divide. Again, I personally like doing all this all at one time. Okay, excuse me. Not about this. 3 and x equals negative 3. You can actually write them like this too. 3 comma negative 3. You could do plus and minus 3 for this one. It doesn't matter. Okay, just give me the right answer and understand how to get there. All right, I'm not one of these people that's a stickler for formatting. That just drives me crazy. All right, so over here it's very similar. we're going to have a negative 3r. Yes, you can have a negative in the absolute value sign. That's fine. And we're going to have a negative 3r equals negative 9. All right. Yes, I chose these because these are very similar. Just this negative is different. So, negative 3, negative 3, negative 3, negative 3. And again, you don't have to solve these simultaneously like I am, but to me, it makes more sense. So we have r equals negative 3 and r equals positive 3. Again, you could write it the same way. You can't see I'm actually pointing over here on the other side of the screen. Okay. So again, we're going to start small. I know if this was in class, somebody would say, is that it? No. Okay. We're always going to start small and build our way up. It's kind of like a walk, jog, run thing. Okay. It's like a warm up. It's not called a hot up. We start slowly. All right. So, there we go. Now, because, I'm all types of mean, we got to have fractions. Dun, dun, dun. So we're going to have b over 5 equals 1, and then a b over 5. Now you could do an and right there if you want to, equals negative 1. Okay, so all I'm going to do, multiply both sides by 5. Okay, so, nope, go away. So I forgot to multiply both sides. Too much stuff going on right here. All right, so this is 5, and that's an and sign, not a plus sign, by the way. B equals negative 5. Wow, super duper crazy. Negative 6m is 30, and negative 6m equals negative 30. All right, usually it's the solving these that don't bother people. It's was or to. Well, remember, the absolute value of anything, I can put a positive value in there and get the answer. Or I can put a negative value in there and get the answer. Okay, that's where people lose it, is that concept. All right. That's when people aren't really reading the problem. They're just wanting to do whatever. All right, so m equals negative 5, and n equals 5. See, it's the same stuff we've been doing. That's why these are called multi-step equations. We put these in with the multi-step equations because they are multi-step. There's 2 of them per problem. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to have like 6 of them on the test, okay? Still working on that right now. I gotta trying to get all my tech stuff to work like I want it to, okay? So it's not going to necessarily look like I would normally have it. Try not to do crazy eyes, but I am. But we're going to get there, okay? All right. So n over 3 equals 2. N over 3 equals negative 2. Hopefully by now you're seeing that this is nothing super duper crazy hard. All right. N equals 6 and n equals negative 6. All right. So now we get to our first 2-step equation. So, like I said, kind of in previous videos, I think the one from yesterday, I forget, I've been doing so many. So if you see me in the same shirt on all these videos, I basically did them all in the same day. I'm not pulling a Dr. Childs and wearing the same thing Monday through Friday. I'm just trying to get stuff knocked out. So this is where a lot of people start moaning and groaning. Oh, why is it got to take so long? Yeah, you'll do that, but you'll sit there and play video games or whatever forever to get to the next level. The worst one is freaking Flappy Bird. Oh, God, I hate that. All right, so start the same way. I'm going to add 4. Now, some people, this is where they don't like doing this. They'll solve the one on the left, and they'll do the one on the right. That's fine. And if you don't like the way I'm working it out, if that does not work for you, that's fine. Work it the way you want to, not the way where Photomath tells you what to do. I know what some of y'all are doing. Thank goodness for Photomath, or I couldn't do this. Oh, ho, ho. Cheese and crackers. All right. Now, again, both of them we're going to divide by 5. All right. Now, the one on the left-hand side is going to end up being easy. So that's just 4. All right. This is negative 12 over 5. All right. I want the improper fraction. Now, that's what I said. I want this. I also want long flowing hair and $1 million every day, but that's not going to happen. Okay. For what I'm showing you, I'm going to show you improper fractions because there's improper fractions on the ACT. Okay. If it gets to the point where we can only do decimals, then we'll just do decimals. But I am going to show you that improper fractions do exist. Okay. All right. Sorry that this one kind of looks a little screwy. I don't know why it copied over like it did, but it is. All right. Negative 2r minus 1 equals 11. Yeah. This is where if you don't make your absolute value bars really big, it looks like a whole bunch of ones, like you're doing binary code, and it can get confusing. Negative 11. Okay. So I'm just kind of keeping on like I have been doing. Just working out the problems like I should. Hopefully by now somebody says, this isn't so bad, it should take a while. Believe it or not, there are people that actually sit at some of these factories, especially making computer boards, and that's all they do for like 12 hours is motherboard for a computer comes by and they just go bzz, 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 all day. They just do the same things all day. It's very tedious. Now, I don't know how well they get paid for it, but this is kind of tedious. It's not difficult. It's just tedious. And if you don't know what tedious means, that means that at low difficulty, just time consuming. Okay. So, ta-da! Now, believe it or not, if you were paying attention, you've noticed I made a mistake. This is not supposed to be a negative 5. This is supposed to be a positive 5. Okay. So, sometimes I'll make mistakes on purpose, and sometimes I won't. I'm just really quick enough to say, oh, I probably did something that you did, blah blah blah. But please take your time. This is one time where if you were actually doing your calculator, you definitely would have got the right answer right off the bat. All right. So that's gotta get that off there. All right. 1 minus 5a equals 29. And then 1 minus 5a equals negative 29. All right. So getting constants on one side. And believe it or not, the way I'm solving these are the same way I did it when I was in Algebra 1, years ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth and we had a mastodon pull our bus to school. All right. Because I know some people are like, you're so old. Well, yeah, it's okay. Divide by negative 5. Negative 5. Divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. Now I'm not, that talking is not for you. That's for me. Because I talk to myself. All right. This will not reduce. 28 over 5. It doesn't matter where you put the negative. It goes on top, goes out the side. It doesn't matter. Okay, this is going to be a positive 6. Okay. It's hopefully you're catching on, because personally, I don't think these are so horrible. Again, it's time consuming. That's why I know it's technically this is like a Friday for us. I didn't give you very many. I think there's less than 8 of the homework problems. Just be glad you didn't have an Algebra 1 teacher like me that sit there and they would just like read from the book. Like example 1, like they do the check yourself, say who got the answer, blah, blah, blah. All right, numbers 1 through 30 all tonight. All right, I had 7 classes a day. Well, 6, because one of them was PE, but cheese and crackers. That took up a whole hour just to do that. Well, maybe less than that, because I would have been that person that copied the odd problems from the back of the book. Like none of y'all have ever done that. Okay. All right. Subtract 6, subtract 6, subtract 6, subtract 6. Got a little Incredible Hulk colors going on. 2n equals 0. All right. So I can literally stop right here on this one because I could divide by -2. It's not going to matter. I know that the only number that can be is going to be 0. This one I got to keep on working though. All right, -2, and then we get n equals 6. All right. Now, number 10. All right, there's a reason why number 10 is at the last. Since this is not a typical Algebra 1 topic in the past, didn't know how far to make this happen. Normally, this would have been an easy Algebra 2 problem for us when I taught Algebra 2 trig, but we're baby stepping. We can't split this yet. Okay, we can't split this yet, and I'm going to show you why. All right. Absolute value means to be set. Okay. It really needs to be by itself before you can split it. Oh my gosh. This is also what happens when you don't type into your senior. Learn from my mistakes, kids. All right. So what we have to do first is we got to get this over here by adding 5. Okay. So now we have the absolute value of b plus 8 equals 7. Now I can split it. Okay. Now I can make it do what I need to do. So we're going to have a b plus 8 equals 7. Yeah. I'm still learning this pen. Forget it. That's gross. And a b plus 8 equals -7. All right. So both sides on both equations, subtract 8, subtract 8. All right. We end up with v equals -1. Stray mark. And -15. Yeah, it's not all the same color, but it's okay. You can see it. All right. So kind of tiptoeing into this. Don't really know. This would be like a good bonus question. I have actually seen something like this on the ACT before, and keep mentioning that the first 10 problems of the ACT is Algebra 1 problems, and they do have word problems on them, but this could actually come up again later. So not bad.